Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and this video is brought to you through the EA Creator Network, as I did receive early access to the brand new expansion pack, Sims for High School Years. In my video yesterday, I went through and had a look at crossplay compatibility, how this pack was going to integrate. My main focus was definitely on Parenthood and also Get Together, because I know people wanted to know whether you could use the club system. I also knew that people wanted to know if you could scold your kids for sneaking out, getting expelled, etc. So if you want to go see that original video, definitely go check out yesterday's. I'll link it in the description down below in case you missed it. But I think I have found a loophole in some cases. I know this is basically going up once the pack is out for everyone. I think it comes out at 6 p.m. BST. That's when this video is going live. I'm hoping that this isn't a glitch, and I'm hoping that the Sims team don't fix it. Sims team, if you're watching this video right now, please just leave it in besties. It works for me. It works for my storytelling. It's a hack, and I know it could potentially break my game, but I don't care. I want it to stay in. I'm gonna take Judith Ward here. She's currently not in any get-together clubs, but I'm gonna create a club. I'm just gonna call it Cheer for the hell of it. People in it, let's go for Sydney, let's go for Luna, Kiyoshi, and for the heck of it, for testing purposes, because I know they're probably not gonna be on the school lot, we'll go for Bjorn, Ted, and that's it. Obviously, as you already know, we can't choose high school as a general club hangout. We also can't choose the auditorium as a club hangout. We can use thrift and bubble stores. We also, if we go to Copperdale, we can't choose the high school. We also can't choose the auditorium, which basically says, hey, you're not allowed clubs to gather on these lots. So we'll go for Thrifty for right now as our venue. We do actually have cheerleading under hobbies though, so let's add that. She is only part of cheer, but what we figured out in yesterday's video, and I'm just gonna do it again today to prove that it doesn't matter if you just travel with one sim, whether you travel with multiple, whether school is in session, whether school isn't in session. It's basically tied to the lot itself, so you can't physically host a club gathering whilst you're here. You can't select club gathering. We are gonna choose to stay here, but then you get this warning that says club gatherings are not available here. Sims will have to travel to another venue or to one of cheer members' residences and gather there. It's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night. School is not in session. This is the auditorium. We click start gathering. We stay here. We get the exact same warning. Let's say we wanted to use the auditorium as a little practice space for our cheerleading. So let me search cheer, and then we shall get a big mat. Let's just go for this one and plop it down right in the middle of the hall. Is Judith scared of the dark? Stop, that's funny. So as you can see, Bjorn is in our cheer team. If we go to him in our relationships, we can have him hang out at current lot. So let's do that. Let's try and get in touch with him. We'll invite Ted to hang out. Who else is in my team? Luna, Kiyoshi, and Sydney. So Luna, Kiyoshi, invite to hang out at current lot, and Sydney, invite to hang out at current lot. So they are all spawning in with the base game group symbol over the head. So not actually their cheer team symbol. It's not a club gathering from Get Together. This is purely base game, but Sims are spawning in to the auditorium, which they couldn't do if I tried to set up an official club gathering. Sydney might not come because we don't have the best relationship with him, but now we can perform a group cheerleading. So this is basically a workaround of cheer team. Oh my word, he must have a high athletic skill. This is so funny. But you can have this as a workaround. This works while school is in session. You can invite Sims to school who aren't currently on the school lot. Same with the auditorium. I was able just to disband the group. You can also add these Sims to your group, form a group. So for example, you could do this in high school in an early morning, before school starts. You could do it at a weekend when school isn't in session, you could have everyone like gather, and then you could use this cheer mat out the back, kind of like a cheer club. The only thing is you can't like set up uniforms and things like that. So let's test it out in school. We are gonna select to follow both Judith and Brittany. So both of them will be in school. The way that this works is it creates a group of the Sims you travel with in your household. So therefore, Judith and Brittany will both be part of their group. We already know from testing that once you're in this group, like you can see Brittany's in our group right now, you can't actually add a Sim to your group. Usually it comes up under actions. However, if you click on the Sim that you have traveled with, you can actually remove them from the group, or you can disband that group. So we're gonna disband it just to see what happens. We still can't add anyone who's like actively here. However, as you can see, school is in session. Even if you disband that group, they are both still here. You can still play with the both of them. They are still both active. But then if we take a look at Judith's relationship panel, we can't currently invite them to hang out at the lot. Like the adults can't come over. Kyoshi is obviously like in school. He's an active teen who is currently in the school. However, Luna isn't currently active on this lot. So what I can do is I can invite a club to hang out, but it's a club that Judith isn't even part of. So Judith actually isn't involved in the Paragons. She's never got an invite. As we can see from her clubs, she has 2 clubs remaining, which means she is only in cheer. So the only club she has in common with Luna is cheer. And yet we can invite club to hang out, and we can invite the Paragons over to the high school. And I'm hoping after the testing that I have done this morning, the Paragons will show up. So Luna herself has shown up. There we go. So Sergio is also here. Sergio is a young adult, but he has managed to spawn as well. Sophia just spawned in. Sophia is also part of the Paragons, a teen who wasn't currently active on the high school lot is now here, and Siobhan is also here. And then what we can do is actually perform a group cheerleading routine exactly the same as we did the first time around, but this time we can do it with the Paragons. A great loophole if you ask me. Basically, what this means is that if you want to start a cheer team, you could create a cheer team with like the Sims that you want to be in it. So for example, Sydney, but then you go back into the household that you want to play, don't have that Sim join, and then all you could do is like if Sydney happens to not be in school that day, you can invite his club to hang out and it will be the cheer team. It's not the best way to do it. It's not the most linear. It does mean that you're missing out on those club uniforms, so you're not gonna like get dressed up as teenagers, but hey, it's a workaround. I mean, it's definitely better than not having clubs here at all. You can also still disband this group. So I think this is a glitch, but like I said, I really don't want it to be fixed because she's not even part of like the club. So I don't technically know how they're in a group. And like I said, you can do this while school is actually happening, like during the active school day. You can also do this while school isn't in session. All you have to do is have your Sim travel alone to the high school and then just like repeat the steps that we've done. So you could have this as a Saturday morning activity if you wanted to. And then at 3 p.m, 5 p.m, if your Sim happens to get detention during the day, school will finish and then I could invite the adults to come over to the lot. So if you wanted for any reason like a club with adults also included, just wait for your school day to end. If they're not currently on the active lot, which right now is the high school, you'll be able to invite them to hang out at current lot and then they will spawn up in the front. Damn, Bjorn's got the nips out and everything, trying to come in disguise as a teenager. You can do this once again with other teens who don't happen to be active. So basically, just keep in mind for this workaround to work, they just have to not be active on the lot. It does get a little bit funky, I will say. So let's invite Molly to hang out at the current lot, and who else isn't here? Let's invite Cowrie over. So these two have both arrived. Judith actually buggered off, which isn't great, but hers basically disbanded. And now we have a group with Brittany. I did test this out, and when Judith was actually active alongside, their groups kind of merge, so it can get a little bit funky. It can like group them together, so just keep an eye on that. But I think this is better than nothing. High school has the exact same limitations as the auditorium, so take everything that I say about high school as also working with the auditorium and the other way around. They are basically interchangeable. I did not notice this, but Thrifty has this big studio space above it. Thank you to everyone who pointed this out in yesterday's video. It currently just has a rug. However, what you can do is you can decide to add a chair mat down here. You could also, if you wanted to, add a dance floor. So if you wanted it to be like a dance studio, you could do that. If you wanted a couple of chess tables in here, if you wanted a couple of computers, if you wanted just them to like throw footballs around or kick soccer balls around, you could use this space as that. I basically said as a workaround for clubs working, you could set up like a gymnasium, a sports hall type thing in an area of Copperdale. Like for example, you could get rid of the park, because I don't think that's a super strong lot to have in this world. But if you don't want to do that, you can actually use this space. I think it's quite a good workaround for you. And this actually lets me test another thing, because obviously we already have an active group. We've started a cheer club gathering. So we're actually gonna try and travel to the high school. So let's head on over there after school and see if their cheer session actually stays intact. I have a feeling that it's probably not going to, but I wanted to test this theory because I did definitely see a couple of you talk about it. So there we go. It's basically knocked it down from an official get-together club gathering just to a group gathering. It just doesn't take into the factor of the get-together clubs. It knocks it down to a base game like group gathering, which is absolutely fine. You still have a lot of the gameplay like go here together, do activities together as a base game group. And the last thing I want to talk about before wrapping up this video is an update that I found out about sneaking out. So sneaking out comes with high school years. We obviously have parenthood and we have curfews set up. Max is currently able to sneak out to a high school sports game because he got the invite to do so because it's a weekend. Also, my curfew is set to 9 p.m. I say if you want to see this gameplay, set it to 9 p.m. It just works a little bit better. There's less of a risk factor of whether your Sims will make it back in time or not. They'll definitely miss their curfew. So what I'm gonna do first of all is actually have him wait until after 9 p.m. to sneak out, and then I'm actually gonna send his dad over here so that he can catch him in the act. It's 9:18, way past 9 p.m., and I'm gonna have him sneak out to that high school game. This is not very realistic, like his dad just like, actually it's kind of realistic for Jacques, I'll be real, but he's just kind of like hanging out in the back garden. We can actually click on Max and catch Max leaving, or he does it automatically. So there we go, absolutely caught in the act. Max, you weren't very clever, you weren't very bright. However, we still actually can't discipline him for that. We can help with his needs and we can influence. We can't use his parenting skill, which by the way, he's like a level 10 in parenting. So even though Max snuck out after the curfew and was caught, we still can't discipline him for that one. But then what we can do to actually get that parenthood integration is we can have Max go and sneak off to his high school football game. He'll do like the sneaking off like walk, which I actually really like. I like how they kind of creep about. He's climbing out of the window. I know you couldn't see the window because I didn't have my my walls up, but he's successfully sneaking. The rest of the family sat down on a Friday night watching a film together. They just think that like he's gone into his bedroom just to listen to some music, maybe practice his guitar. Yes, they can't hear it. Who knows? Maybe he's listening on headphones. But there you go. He is at the high school sports game. Don't ask me why it's starting at 9 p.m. And then he's out for what, like a hefty 3-4 hours? He's still currently at the sports game. The other two teenagers are asleep, but his dad is actually still awake, and he is about to spawn back onto this lot in any second. So there we go. He's back on the lot. He's spawned back in, and then we can have his dad, more choices, parenting, discipline recent behavior. We can ask not to break curfew, hug it out, firmly express our disappointment, tell him not to do it. We can give him a timeout, ground him, and we can also yell at him. So we're actually gonna ground him for breaking curfew. Obviously, we're able to do this because he has such a high parenting skill, so you might not have all of those options available to you. I would kind of suggest just like cheating your parenting skill up, but we will say no phone, because obviously phones are a big part of high school years, so he's not allowed to update to Social Bunny or anything like that. Let's just push him a little bit further though. New post, let's post about sneaking out. We're gonna do a confident narrative. A little trouble never hurt nobody, and I'd say tonight was more than successful. I mean, mate, you just like literally broke the rules and got grounded. We are gonna reprimand him for breaking the rules, because he did actually just use his phone, and we are gonna ground him again because he used his phone once again. So he's got grounded, no phone for 24 hours, but now we can also tell him that he's also not got the computer for a day. Boy is about to lose all of his privileges. I know this kind of hinges on the parenthood like programming way more so than it does the like sneaking out through the window, because you're technically not disciplining them for sneaking out, you're disciplining them for breaking their curfew, which is technically because I set this up on the parenthood board. That's why I said go for like 9 p.m. because I feel like it's probably the best one. I think the latest is like 11 p.m, but you don't know if your sim is going to sneak out before it. So if you want to play around with these options, definitely go for 9 p.m. I just wanted to update you all. I do feel like I was a little bit harsh. Obviously, there's still no discipline for being expelled, dropping out. I also, whilst I've been in active school, haven't received like a science fair project. You know, the little like projects that kids can come home from school with. I haven't got any of those. I have played like a week in game as a teenager going to active high school every day. That's not to say that it's not gonna happen. It's just a lot less frequent and it might not happen at all. So just take that with a pinch of salt. I hope this video was helpful to understand. I do feel like I unfairly judged some of it, but also I did expect more still from the cross gameplay like compatibility. I am glad that there's a workaround. Like I said, if this is a glitch, I really hope it's not fixed, because I actually do think that it could work well for some of us. If you need any like clarification in the comments down below, please feel free to ask me. I am not a QA tester at the end of the day. I just wanted to make these videos so that it was helpful to you, those of you who are getting your hands on the game or deciding whether you wanted to like hold off for a little bit to see if any of these things are like fixed. I feel like I broke the game in the best way possible because I kind of unlocked a hack and a workaround around it. I know I said that my Let's Play was going to start today, but I think it's either going to start tomorrow or Saturday. I really want to like take my time with it, and I also just wanted to see how gameplay was going to work, honestly, before I get into like a whole host of a Let's Play. So that will be coming soon, and I'm still looking forward to it. Yeah, some elements might not be as strong as I wanted them to be, but I do still like this pack and the drama that it can create, and that's what I personally know I'm gonna have fun with the characters that I've created. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.